gym. Genetics don't feed you. Genetics doesn't do anything for you, except if genetics and hard work meet, you create something great. You show up every day and you give the same effort every single day, where I see a lot of people show up one day and they're superstars, and they show up another day and they're like, I'm going to call it in. I'm going to phone it in. Yeah. It was Serge and Mo kind of run the show. We know this. With that being said, I appreciate you guys taking time today, and I appreciate this. And Chrissy, if you want to, Mona's going to go live right here too for your Instagram, so all our Instagram people can also join in and ask questions as well.
Hey, I'm going to bring Ava in for you, Mike. I'm bringing so she can call you Uncle Mike in front of everyone.
She's going to talk about my makeup and my
page right now.
We're live with Uncle Mike. We'll call you back.
I'm already live on my page.
Okay, so I'll make sure that she pulls into yours.
Okay.
Hey, Ava wants to know if you have makeup on. Definitely.
I don't. I just got out of the pool. What do you think?
I'll call you back. I love you. Oh, goodness.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, tell her to send a request onto mine. Unlike you, Mike, I like to be on time when I say I'm going to go live. Do you remember our wedding?
Yeah, I do remember that. Wasn't I on time?
No.
You were on mic time. You were 20 minutes late. Oh, and we waited.
And we held up the whole wedding.
Because you're so special. Like
they're making this up, guys. I would never show up late. I would never do this.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. All right, what are we chatting today?
All right, so let me lead into this. So you sent me a message the other day. I don't know if you want to let the fans know about this, Heath. About maybe you're going to kind of lock it down now and move forward with a plan. And what you and I do a lot of the time, well, all of us kind of do, is that we tell somebody that we respect and find they'll hold you accountable. Can you kind of go into that, if that's all right?
For sure. Well, listen, there are very few people in the world like Mike. Doesn't need a lot of accountability when it comes to dieting. He doesn't need a lot of accountability when it comes to being in the gym. He has a God-given gift where he can kind of just lock in. He motivates himself in a lot of different ways. That's been me the majority of my life. And if there was something, if our livelihood here in the Evans household, kind of like Mike's does, depended on me staying in top shape, I probably wouldn't need anyone to keep me accountable either. But my livelihood doesn't. And so I wanted to go on kind of a focus factor diet plan. And so the first person I told Chrissy, I said, hey, babe, it's getting real because I'm reaching out to Mike. I'm going to tell him what I'm doing because Mike knows I'm never going to lie to him, and he'll be faithful in texting me. I'm 2 hours ahead of him here in Texas, but that boy's texting me every freaking morning. I'm like, go to bed. He's like, no, I got to go do some abs. And I'm going to tell everyone else not to do abs. But that's another story for another day. But I asked for accountability because we all need a coach. We all need accountability. We all need to find people to be transparent with.
I'm a little lost just because I'm going to speak for the millions that are going to watch this. You've hit the pinnacle in my world of athletic ability. To me, I knew early on my goal was Mr. Universe. And then I fell in love with being a gladiator and a born kind of gladiator. And so that was kind of like it. But again, I did play football and I loved football. But you made it to the most pinnacle of football. And you didn't just make it to an average career. An average career in football now, I think, is 2.5 years, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And you did 4 times that. And I always said that you're kind of like that lunchbox mentality. You show up every day and you give the same effort every single day, where I see a lot of people show up one day and they're superstars, and they show up another day and they're like, I'm going to call it in. I'm going to phone it in.
Yeah.
Where you were in the position where you had to give it everything and be the very, very best that day for you. And you made 10 years in the NFL, which, again, every guy watching this and is like, wow, and so the reason I say this is because you don't get to that level without being motivated. You don't get to that level without having a work ethic. You don't get to that level without having some kind of genetics, but genetics don't drive you to the gym. Genetics don't feed you. Genetics doesn't do anything for you, except if genetics and hard work meet, you create something great.
Yeah.
So you did this, but you still reach out to somebody and say, hey, I need to be held accountable for what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go on this venture. Can you explain to them, to everybody out there, especially the kids that are watching this, going, I don't need nobody. I got this. I ain't going to talk to nobody. I ain't going to ask no questions. Can you explain why that would be for somebody at such a level that you got to still does that?
Yeah. Well, self-reflection is important, and we're all chasing something. Around our home, I often say dysfunctional doesn't look dysfunctional to the dysfunctional. So sometimes I can
do that one more time. I'm sorry.
Dysfunctional doesn't look dysfunctional to the dysfunctional. And so I've been blessed to see a lot of my dysfunction. So I bring people in to help me because you see it more clearly than I see it in myself. Chrissy sees it more clearly than I see it in myself. So listen, from 2001 to 2010, I didn't miss workouts. I didn't miss massage sessions. I didn't miss chiropractic sessions. I didn't miss soft tissue sessions. I didn't miss anything. It was what I was focused on. It was my livelihood to provide for family. Well, now my eyes are fixed on different things. And so there's other things that can kind of fall by the wayside. And so I always call on YouTube knuckleheads to help me in areas of weakness. Like for me, Chrissy's whole livelihood depends on being the weight loss hero. Your livelihood is power bodybuilding. There's a representation that comes with being who and what we are. So you guys carry yourself as such. Listen, me genetically, I get to kind of eat and I can stay looking pretty good most of the time, but then I'll get to a point where I'm like, all right, let me dial it back in, but I need help because I love donuts too much. So that's when I call you. But I have to first realize what I need. And my needs now at 42 are different than they were at 27 when I was in the NFL. Now, as well as I do, challenge us.
Hold on. This is not a good idea.
What's that?
Just turn the volume down.
So there we go.
I got it.
Yeah. So
I muted it on my end.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Will it not work?
Let's see here. I was going to turn it on.
I think it's because we have it in two places.
We'll figure it out. There we go. Are we okay there?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Listen, I reached out because I know that it's I don't need 6-pack abs right now.
Yes, you do.
Leave it to Mona to put me in my place. But that's the truth. I don't surround myself with yes people.
Okay, but again, I'm confused because I get that's for you, but these kids that haven't got to the level that you've gotten to, these kids, that maybe self-believe they're already, I guess, great, and they don't need help. Can you say something to them? Because I try to talk to kids and I try to say, hey, you're your worst enemy. And even though I've won the universe numerous times and done what I've done, I'm still my worst enemy.
Right.
And when I get dieted down for a show, you always go, I like 275, Mike.
Amen to that. So does Mona.
And Mona says the same thing. But I get in my own head and I'm like, I'm going in the right way. And then I guest pose and I come off stage. Mona shows me the phone and the video. And I'm like, ugh, I dieted away.
Yeah.
And so I tell these kids, and I think that you're the same way, that we tell these kids, get that circle, get the community, get the group around you.
Well, you and I both, probably coming from our dads, were always asking for help. You were in the gym with old men. I was on the basketball court with a bunch of brothers from the other side of the track growing up in West Palm Beach, Florida. We just put ourselves in tough positions, but it taught us lessons. I think
I was in a field with a whole bunch of donkeys. Okay, go on.
but that's what I was getting ready to say. You have a Mona story from Romania.
Yeah.
You have a Chrissy story who had a lot of hard stuff pressed on them. They had to overcome a different way. I just know we all need help. And if we don't ask for help, we're not going to get help. So, Chrissy, the weight loss hero's got something to say.
Well, I just wanted to say that one other thing that I have seen is a lot of times, like depending on a spouse, specifically if you have similar struggles, is not always the best person to be that accountability person. So like me and Heath can be like, we're not going to eat bad and we're going to eat really good. But when we both go through the same stressful event and we both want to go get the same donut and we're both facing the same temptation, it's really easy for us to just both decide to go do it, as opposed to like, I have someone I check in with my weight and with my goals every day outside. So like we have us, but I also have someone else. And that's, I think, why Heath really values you, Mike, is that, you know, obviously I can say all day long, you know, let's stick to it. But having somebody outside who has a different perspective and also doesn't have to kind of deal with the tensions of that, I think is really healthy too.
Yep.
I think that's a great thing about that you guys have a community and we have a community for people to bounce off, not just us and what we're going through, but others that have maybe a different lifestyle. And I think that's what's great about you. For you girls, for both of you girls, when you guys are pretty, I'll say that you both are very, very strong, independent women because you hang out with us guys. What is it about you guys that keep you on track when it comes to nutrition and keeping your people on point?
That was done.
I'm sorry, I was trying to because it was echoing, I think.
Yeah, that's okay. So for me, I think the mental approach, the way I grew up. So literally when I was like 11 years old, I was taking care of my brother and sister. And so when I came to the States, I was 16, but I was really mentally 30. Like I just wanted to work. I came here to grind. They're like, you're 60-year-old. Like, who's going to hire you? You don't even speak any English. I didn't care. I just wanted to make money. I came here, the land of opportunity, America. Like I came here and this is where you have the opportunity to do whatever you want if you want to do it. So I just started grinding night and day, pretty much so, until it got me where I am today. So that shows you that if you do work hard, okay, you're going to succeed. You know, a lot of people like, we were talking about this before, you know, like, it's nice to be where you at, you know, you in shape and you guys got all this and you got money and yeah, but what do we go through? Like they have no clue. Like I could write 5 books. I could shock the whole world. Really, I could.
So none of the 4 of us were dropped into the position we're in today.
No.
So Chrissy, how can you talk to these people today and kind of give them your take on not only being with a very strong man, but holding your ground on what you do and how the people you support, because you have such a huge reach of people and you keep them motivated. How is it that, and does that help you stay motivated? How does the back and forth work?
You know, as far as, so anybody that doesn't know, I mainly work with weight loss clients. I myself have lost over 150 pounds, kept it off 6 or 7 years now. And absolutely working with people every day adds a really nice touch of pressure that, because trust me, there are enough people in my DMs that are going to let me know if they don't think that I'm looking right. So it adds a really nice little edge, but I actually like it. But for me, it's just knowing that it's like a leadership role. That every day that I show up and I make the right choices and I lead by example, that's leading other people to do the right things. But I also think that so much of this, and I don't think that this matters if it's fitness or if it's weight loss, is it's setting those goals and doing what you said you would do despite how you feel that day, despite what life throws at you that day, because we all have things that we run to or that we want when life throws us curveballs. And so I think that's one of the biggest things is that even though I'm married, even if Heath wants to go eat donuts today, I have to ask myself, what did I say I was going to do? And I have to make that choice for me. And I can't blame Heath and his donuts for my choices every day.
You heard that?
Yeah, no, I heard this. You guys don't know this out here, but there's a couple of people that I always go back to and say have incredible. They've set themselves up by doing nutrition a proper way for their bodies to where they get to enjoy more than I do. And that's Heath and this knucklehead right here.
Yeah,
so it's one of these things where I don't get to eat like she does or like you do because I have to be a certain way. And if I ate the way that Heath eats, I'd be at 315 around. I'd be
so happy. Mona would look 3 years younger. She already looks 33. She looks,
Less stress.
It would
Yeah.
definitely be less.
But I see your point there, because I can't I'll go up and I'll get to bed by I don't know, like 2 PM, and
bedtime.
I'm joking.
It's
It's 3:30 ish. But I'll come down and I'll see her eating a beautiful meatball spaghetti dinner with Titan, and I'm like, wow, that looks good. But again, I'm gonna guest post this Saturday, so I can't have that. And so I love the aspect that you talk about, how you got to stay in point and how you're a representation to your community now. If you're always cheating and you're always giving in, what is that saying to them?